Welcome back, everybody, to the Neoncaster Twitch channel. I still am, always and forever, your AI androgynous game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. Welcome to this part 2. Welcome to part 2 of Queerz Hold That Pose for Me. While we're waiting for one of our players to just come back from having a bit of a stretch, but it gives me the time to go do a bit of Last Time On. Or actually, how about I go and talk about what Queerz is as a tabletop RPG, and then we maybe go around current table as to what happened last time on, because I always think that's a little fun. So Queerz, the tabletop RPG, is written and designed by Son of Oak, who previously made City of Mist. And this game is based mechanically on City of Mist. So if you've played that game, you'll vibe with this one too. It is a mashup of LGBTQ plus culture and Super Sentai superheroes. So what if the cast of Power Rangers were all incredibly queer? Not that they aren't already, but you know, just making it like text instead of subtext. We spent many hours watching Billy work out, and I don't know, that maybe set me on the road to the person that I am today. Juicy Garland is fanning themselves, although you can't see right now. Yes, so far, the story so far, we have our selection of 5 queers. Let's go around the table and say what happened last time on in the first part of the session. Juicy Garland, what happened last time on?
So, last time on, we were at the bar. I gave a fabulous performance, and then the cops showed up, and they told us to be quiet, and that's just not my nature.
Absolutely. Greg, what happened last time on?
We talked about how bad these cops are and decided to head out into our wonderful village to see if they've had a bigger effect on the neighborhood than just telling us to be quiet. And things aren't good out there.
Logan, you're currently muted, by the way. What happened last time on?
Well, you know, Dean sort of embarrassed himself by not de-escalating a situation and then smacking a glass of ignorance out of someone's hand, although they didn't know that. They just took it as getting a glass smacked out of their hand.
Yeah, tomorrow's newspaper will read Dean Wolfward murdered 2 people in the street.
Rogue filmmaker.
Aggressive spin. Ruben, what happened last time on?
Last time on Queerz, I believe that Tink revitalized the local electropop scene.
That's the main plot point that you want to take away.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it has to be
One thing
noted.
people need to know.
Absolutely.
Exactly, like this is like we're giving back to the community. The culture is thriving.
And last but by no means least, Shamini, what happened last time on Queerz?
The Queers have discovered evil snow, homophobic snow, coming from a cloud over Prestige Tower. Is it called Prestige? What's it called?
Yeah, Prestige Tower, you got it.
Prestige Tower, which is a new development of meanness made by a rich, mean person. So we are set off to the tower.
And in fact, last time on, they made their way to Prestige Towers, found a guards outside, and the guards, seeing through the disguise, recognize them as the Divergents, which is the term that we're using because we do not say slurs on this channel. To recognize them as the Divergents they are, and pulled out tasers and are about to attack. However,
Immediately. Finish your thing.
However, these queers are made of sterner stuff, and no revolutions are made bloodlessly. So now is the time for battle.
Immediately when Luce sees tasers being drawn, like weapons at their comrades, at people that they like are just like stationed to protect, just boom, going in, swoops in, sort of like a boxing style duck in front of Chernobyl, and I'd like to just do whatever it takes to knock these fellas out. Hit the Fash with the storm. And I've got
there are two tags that this particular threat has inherently. Hopefully that carries over. Has it not carried over? God, roll 20. Why are you like this? It'll do
Roll
eventually.
20 is being very, very queer-phobic
These
right
threats have two tags: taser and self-important inherent.
now. Self-important. Fair enough.
Because they think they're cops, but they very much are not.
Security personnel, honestly. Yeah, but unlike for them, I've got one of my themes is just my fighting style, which is dockside bars with the power tags Raw Oceanic Force, Fighting Dirty, and I think maybe even some improvised weapons, but that's for later. Right now, I just want to clock these fuckers.
Absolutely. I think that is going to be... Sorry, I'm still fighting with Roll20. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. That's actually visible to everybody. Yes, I like the fact that you're going to be taking fights to him. This is... Oh, I'm not reading chat. I'm ignoring the puns in chat. The puns are very good, though. We're going to make a be vulnerable roll because you're attacking and are being attacked in kind.
I'm putting myself out there.
I mean,
All right.
you're putting yourself on the line physically. You're not necessarily going to escape unscathed. You're
That's
rolling
true.
with 3 tags, aren't you?
Yeah, so modify 3, but do the story tags negate those in any way?
Yes, I think the fact that this person has a weapon is a bit of a detriment to the circumstance.
Yeah.
So yes, that's going to have an effect of a -1. So your final total is 2.
All right, let's go.
9. Mixed success. Nice. You do it and inflict a tag, but there may be a complication on the other side. So describe what the attack looks like, and then we'll see what the complication is.
Yeah, so like I said, sort of like ducking and weaving in boxer style, just giving quick 1-2s to the first guy's face, and then giving an uppercut to the second guy, and like doing like the slow-mo anime thing where you go like, and he's like lifted up on the uppercut, and like slow-mo spits out like, but I think one of the if I can suggest a complication is that the first
go for
guy
it. Yeah.
recovers real quick and then sort of like gives a swipe at with the taser at his hat, at Luce's hat.
Not the hat!
Yeah, coming like at it from above. You know, trying to give a dome tasing.
Ooh, okay. How spicy do you want this side effect to be?
Oh, give me the spice.
Give
me
you
the
spice.
sunball.
Okay. In fact, then, not only do you burn one of the tags on your hat playbook. So
Like forever?
What?
No. It will be returned when you can get your hat back. But this particular effect is locked out. I think you lose the bottomless hole.
Yeah.
Tag. You can no longer pull items out of your hat. But you
makes
also
sense.
take shocked too as he gets you with the taser.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think what happens is because he gets me with the taser, Luce's ample, definitely their hair fuses with the material of the hat, and they can't get it off. so they can't undo it to get out stuff anymore.
Absolutely. You did get to deal damage to one of them though.
Yeah.
How would you? It was a tier 2 status. So how would you like to describe the tier 2 damage you've given one of them?
I want let's see, the uppercut guy to be like panting, on the floor. What when you're like on the floor clutching your stomach, sort of like that.
Winded too.
Winded, sure.
Absolutely. Okay, who wants to go step it to the plate?
So seeing that happen to Luce, Marky jumps into action, like has a lot of anger energy right now, but also sort of knows what like not ready to actually fight. So he pulls out one of the extra fans that he didn't give out and runs over to the person that's got the taser and slams it over the taser and twists to create an opening
Yeah.
So like their taser is held back. So the 2 tags I'm using is I saw this in a movie, and you've got this.
Absolutely. I like that being a strike oppose roll because one of the effects of that is being able to remove tags. So if you roll successfully, you might be able to remove that taser tag and they no longer have access to it.
All right. So I'm just rolling with 2.
Yep.
Does my negative thing come into play?
I'm not going for expediency's sake, I'm not gonna have the detractor this time around, yeah. Mixed success. That's fine because using a strike oppose, as long as you even hit a mixed success, you still get what you want. It might be temporary though. So let's see. You can prolong an effect, scale up, so you can make tags or remove tags, and I'm
holding the taser out of play. So I've got I got it wrapped up in the fan, and I'm holding back for somebody else to come in.
So we have removed taser, but it's a 2 strength roll, so you get to do another thing. So you can add a tag to the story if you would like.
I will add wide open. That they are wide open.
I like that.
That sounds like a great opportunity for Cher to step in. She's gonna just look at them in the eye and go, "No one talks to me that way," and get into a little bit of female trouble as she pulls out her Cupid's bow, which is, when she pulls it back, a red bow shaped like lips, and just throws an arrow of light at the one being held.
Absolutely. We're pulling out our Super Sentai weapons immediately. Let's go.
100%.
They are currently not in a position where they can defend. So go and give me a slay roll, please.
You betcha.
79.
All right.
Mixed success, but that's cool.
But were you using 2 tags?
Oh, female trouble and my Cupid's bow.
With that,
actually, with the additional tag of an opening, that would be a valid third one that you could use, pushing that up to a 10. So, yeah, there we go. You get to use 2 of these upgrades. So you can avoid counter attacks. You can make the damage even higher. You can affect more people. You can take something from them. You can make them focused on you. And you can make a combat which reduces a negative status by 1.
I want to do more damage and knock him out.
Absolutely. So, inflicting a tier 3 status to this guy, I'm not going to put it on the screen because it's not going to matter because he'll be out of combat. But describe the effect as this arrow of light strikes them and does them in.
Yep, so I let loose the arrow and it strikes him right in the heart. And he feels one moment of love and joy before he passes out.
Oh.
It's not too bad, honestly.
You see, actually, with that final blow, the hat fly off his head, and it explodes into stars of ignorance as they disintegrate. As he kind of is on his knees, kind of woozy, being like, "What was I doing?" And then just passes out. The other guard, however, this clears the opening tag because that opening has now closed, and the other one that was winded scrambles and gets their taser back.
I would love to draw some 10-inch heels on this individual. That I would expect them not to be capable of really walking around in.
Okay. Yeah, go and give me. You're applying a tag to a person. Let's give this a be vulnerable. You have to get in close to apply an effect to a person.
Okay, and I'll be using the AHA, which is the quick sketch tag, and protect those I love. I think carries here.
Okay, cool. That's 2.
Alright.
They do have their taser back. So I was going to say that takes 1 off. It's still within the mixed success range. So you get them and they get you. Let's see. So you deal. You're applying a tag to them, or
Yeah, I guess that would be. The tag is a long sentence, but I think it's short explanation of they are wearing very tall heels and they can't balance very well in them.
Yeah.
Clumsy?
Yeah.
Clumsy,
Is
sure.
clumsy a good one?
I like that. I like that.
Like
Let's,
Bambi.
let's go and make that a story tag, clumsy. And it means that the next person gets to benefit from that for free as we go in and maybe clear this fight out. Who hasn't attacked yet? I don't think Tink has moved yet. So go for it, go for it.
Tink would like to swishy their swishy purple cloak all swishily at this poor person and make them fall over.
Okay. What?
I was gonna say I can't imagine Tink attacking someone, but this is perfect.
I think this is still kind of putting you in harm's way a little bit, so go and give me a be vulnerable roll.
Okay. Oh wait, what tags am I using? So I've got swishy cloak. 'Cause
Okay, yes,
that's my
important,
favorite tag.
important.
Swishy cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that might be it.
Okay, and you're going to get the bonus one for the clumsy tag that has been inflicted.
Oh,
so
great,
Go roll
so I
plus
can-
2.
Add 2, amazing. Yeah,
Mixed
okay.
success. I think this will close the fight out, but you might lose something on the other side. So tell me. Well, it's a mixed success, so there might be a downside to this.
Oh, no.
So yeah, tell me how you finish this guy off.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I don't want to, finish him off in a brutal way, but if I've swished my cloak in his face and he's stepped backwards on his very tall heels and just sort of fallen backwards, perhaps drop the
Okay.
taser, or he's on the floor.
I like this. The drawback is not that you don't get what you want. It's that it works a little too well. As you baffle him with the cape, he staggers backwards, unused to the fact that he's on the heels, and clang, the back of his head collides with the metal of the gates as he kind of collapses to the floor and the gates swing inwards. Yay.
Those of you who are paying attention, there's a dark, evil smile on Marky's face as he sees that.
Oh.
Yeah,
I hate it.
I would like to call on some divine intervention and sort of talk him out of his torpor and lighten the mood of it, maybe getting rid of that ignorance out of his eye.
Absolutely. Actually, yes, we're gonna. Here's the music for it. Now with this surprising burst of violence over, the area feels really quiet again. And as you kind of walk into the gardens beneath the tower, and you see that all the topiaries are now starting to have a little bit of light frost on top of them.
The
But
person who banged his head was okay, right? Though.
sure, as far as you know.
We didn't see a red stripe, so I'm sure he'll come off with a
Recovery.
light concussion.
Tink does a very bad recovery position, because that's what you're supposed to do in the theatre safety talks. It's always they don't know how to do that really, but they do it. And they're very
Yeah. He's now kind of in the recovery position awkwardly next to the gate as there is a moment of downtime for Cher to have a conversation with Mark.
Mark, you look like you're having a rough time. What's going on?
I'm fine. They're invading our neighborhood. This isn't right.
It's not.
They
It's
deserve
not.
what they get.
But you know what? It's better to kill them with kindness, mostly because it's more satisfying.
And as you peer in, Cher, you see that there's a little speck in the corner of Marky's eye.
Ah. Sweetheart, let me just grab that. There's something, and she's going to try to grab it out and throw it away.
Give me a care roll, please.
Care roll, okay. And that'll be +1 with divine intervention?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, lucky.
Oh, mixed success. Okay. Yes, I think you managed to do that, and Mark, you feel lighter. even though it was like maybe they brushed an eyelash off your cheek or something, but for some reason that eyelash was incredibly heavy. Now it's gone, it feels different, and you can clear that one creeping sensation.
I think Marky just like rubs his. I don't even. Oh, that feels a lot better. Thanks.
No problem, sweetie. Anything for everyone's favorite puppy.
Oh.
However, Cher, you think about it for a moment, and like, well, you've been on all sorts of missions with these guys. Granted, Mark is the newest to the team and is still coming into their Queerz powers, but it's never really gotten to you like that before. You've always been immune to ignorance. But if this actually can have an effect on all of you, knows how this could be, how this could turn out. And you take a 1 tier status of nervous.
Nervous. Okay.
This isn't a darkness creeping into you, but you're like, oh, we might need to take this seriously.
The stakes are high.
With that, shall we move inside the building?
Sounds good.
Sounds
Yes.
good.
Let's stop the music first. The building door has a it's floor to ceiling glass. It doesn't look especially strong, and there's a magnetic lock, keeping the door.
Is there a receptionist anywhere or someone at a door?
Oh yes, I love this. You stare through, and there is a receptionist, and you make eye contact with them, Luce, and they don't move, and you're like, oh, maybe they're just they're not walking around or typing at anything, but no, they're not even breathing. And the light moves a little bit, and there's a glint across them, and then you realize they're frozen.
I think the shock of that catches up with Luce, and they go, "See, Garkins, these people aren't people. I need to hold on, and I want to use my Q factor, which is the lucky rod, which is because Luce is a MILF. Man, I love fishing.
Very good. Very, very good.
They have a fishing rod that they can use to sort of get out the emotional baggage out of people. So it's basically a fishing rod, a physical fishing rod without a line attached, but when they swing it, a rainbow thread emerges and sort of just extends and tries to go for this person.
Absolutely. I'm actually not going to have you make a roll for this.
Okay.
But,
Yes.
this as you approach the glass, the automatic doors, and the automatic doors don't open. You still swing with the fishing rod though, which actually shatters the very thin glass that this thing is. They were so kind of concerned about having security at the front gate. They weren't especially concerned about making the security of this particular door particularly sturdy. So as it shatters, it goes through, kind of lands almost inside the statue of this secretary, and then you feel you pull something away. Almost like you were removing an exoskeleton, a shell around the secretary. And as it pulls away, it then shatters into stars of dark glass as the secretary kind of starts moving again, as if they've been removed from suspended animation, looking very dizzy.
Yeah. Luce reels it back in and just looks what they hooked on and just goes "Ugh," throws it away. Basically a wet fish of hatred. And I want to try calling the receptionist again, see if they notice us now.
Yeah, they I think it's a lady. She readjusts everything. She realizes that I think she assumes that she nodded off. So she's all adjust bun, adjust collar, flattened pencil skirt. Good evening and welcome to Prestige Tower. Oh, the glass is broken.
It was the guards outside.
Oh,
They've
no.
had too much to drink. They've been quite unwelcoming for us. Clearly, richly dressed people.
I mean, technically, the thing Cher's attempt to disguise you all did actually happen. It just didn't fool those guards. So yeah, you're all in like very unified plaid. It's a very Heather's moment between all of you at the moment, as the receptionist is like, "Oh dear, well we did." Hire baser people. They were willing to go and take the pay offered. So I suppose they weren't going to be up to the standards of the rest of the staff. I shall deal with them summarily.
Very good. And then Luce is like very proud of like how they handled this situation, but then doesn't really know like how do I jump to like the fact that we are on a mission, and just kind of like nervously looks around like
Marky will step up and this is great, but we actually had a meeting with Mr. Dinesh.
Yes, Master Dinesh.
Master, oh my god.
You do, I'm sure if you have been invited by Master Dinesh, you have the appropriate key card that will let you into the building. We tend to send those out in advance rather than letting people in. Please make your way down to the stairs in the elevator corridor. And she like gestures behind her, and you see like a long corridor and what looks like the glowing lights of an elevator set at the back. And then it starts to like twist and fractalize. And then you realize that, wow, this might be a bit of a trek to get there.
Before we go,
What floor is Mr. Dinesh on?
That's a funny joke.
I'm very forgetful. I don't remember.
Probably the top one.
This building was designed with one very expensive penthouse apartment, and it's taken.
By Mr. Dinesh.
Like, she blinks at you, and on the third blink, her expression changes to kind of like one of unhidden disgust.
But before we go in, can I check the unconscious guards for a key card?
We can actually, hold on.
Rewind.
Go and do a rewind
Yeah.
and make that happen. So yeah, go and give me a get a clue roll as you go and check these guards to see if you find anything good.
And then can we check if there's a red streak on a gate somewhere to put Tink at ease?
That might be one of them. Yeah. Did I accidentally double that? Was that the roll of 5? Oh no.
Unfortunately, yes.
Let's see. You are glad to find that there seems to be no kind of like major external wound to that one guard. You, however, do not manage to pat them down for key cards. It seems that whoever they stashed them, they're in a place where your hands aren't particularly interested in going.
Okay. Back to the present. Is there any key card on the receptionist desk?
If anybody would like to make a get a clue roll to investigate the desk area, maybe.
I would. I want to. How can I support that by literally distracting with my innocently but kind of dumb questions to the receptionist? Like I want to be able to do that to give somebody else a better chance of finding.
I love that. I love the idea. Like Marky just then, like after the triple blink of disgust by the receptionist, Marky then goes, "So how is Mr. Dinesh? How is he doing?" And it's like,
what kind of mood are we expecting? When we go up
Right.
there, like, has there been a lot of yelling? Has there been a lot of?
Can Stoonch also help?
So, because Queerz as a system is not complete yet, it is still in its demo phase, teamwork roles don't exist yet, unfortunately. So what I will just do is that we can say that this happens in the world, and we'll give a flat +1 to whoever wants to try and get a clue. I like the idea that Dean might be maybe using Stoonch to go and sneak around the desk in the way that the receptionist isn't looking at. So maybe Dean makes the get a clue roll, but with this additional +1.
Cool. So I would add My Little Buddy.
Makes sense.
Maybe Rubber Hose Cartoon. 'Cause
Yes.
it's around. Yeah.
I like that.
And I think that's all I got.
Hello, to steal again.
And this is a get a clue roll.
Yes, please.
7.
Mixed success. Nice. So you get to ask me 2 questions, and then there's a side effect. Go and ask me some questions.
Is there a key card anywhere in this desk?
So I think that clue will be part of the thing that you'll just get for free.
Okay.
There will be, like, we see Stitch kind of like Scooter
Legally distinct.
out of camera and then appear above the frame, like clambering down the wall behind, as they then extend their arms noodle-like as they go wee, 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 and into
They hum to themselves. Bop, 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 bop.
yeah, exactly that. As they like get themselves into like a drawer and kind of like fish out a key card, and you see like Stooch like look up and wink at the camera. And you get a second clue, so you might want to maybe find out something about the building.
Yeah, is there a back entrance into that condo? Like the one that's in the building?
You find like a full ass video game. Stooch also finds like floor plan data. Like you just get a little kind of like fold out map that has some information on it, and a memo note. Yes, that's also attached. Obviously, taking the time to go and read that in front of the in front of the receptionist would give away the fact that you've stolen it from her. So you might need to go and move on with the rest of your day.
Yeah. Yeah, Stooch knows what's up. They're just lurking behind me until we are in the clear.
Stooch makes like a motion of like, I think Stooch pulls out a large custard pie and is hovering it behind the receptionist like, yeah? Oh.
Oh man, Nathan, you had like Kim was your trial run for this one. I feel
Doing little gremlin voices is now increased in my kind of voice acting repertoire, apparently. But yes, Stooch, with this ill-gotten goods, scrabbles back up to the ceiling. You might need to politely excuse yourself from the conversation.
Yeah, I think Dean just says he needs to go to the bathroom or something and just moves on.
Yeah.
I think we'll drag Marky away from the awkward conversation with the receptionist. With like, Mr. Dinesh is waiting. Come on.
It's lovely meeting you.
Yeah.
I'll do a loose and share step away from the scene.
She's nervous, so she's not really interacting much. She's just going to try to walk through, just looking like she belongs.
I think Luce kind of picks up on the nervousness of Cher and like offers her what would be like, would she be the Brefman type or more of like a Werther's Originals, you know? I think for Luce would offer a Werther's.
I love that for me.
There you go. It's like a little pick me up Werther's.
Nice.
You know what? Fine. I don't think you make a roll from that. You clear the nervous for free. That's like a. I like to keep that as a care roll
Power.
for free.
The power of
yeah.
queer
That's
parents.
that's the only free care you get. But
The magic of grandma candy.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah, like Luce gets like the what is it, the fucking like tin box that you think contains all the cookies but actually has all the sewing needles. But there is actually like there's sewing needles in there, but also like one half empty roll of Werther's.
Nice.
And as you kind of like step away and kind of go around one of the corridors, and then go around the corridor, you keep like turning left and you keep hitting more corridor. and then you realize that you've definitely looped in on yourself, and this building just stopped making sense.
Have we passed the receptionist again, or is she out of the picture?
You've essentially kind of left her. You've kind of gone on a corridor away from her, but this corridor is like not making sense as you continue to go down it. It seems to be linear.
Stooge to give me the map and see how non-Euclidean this building is.
You look at the map, and the map is a normal floor plan, but the memo does note that the how to put it. Lifts A, B, and C are currently down for repairs, and none of those lifts actually go to penthouse. There is a separate lift in one of the upper level floor spas.
While Dean is sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
While Dean is like worrying about where we are, Tink is going to ignore the left turning corridors and kind of come up by Luce and say, "Oh my god, oh, the guards, they're all drunk. Was that acting?" That was awesome. Like, I think a little bit of performer in you.
Well, Luce like looks away, just like has a little pretty mouth, and goes like, "Well, you know, I might have been checking out these movies, these films, in secret."
What?
I've watched. I've watched. Don't tell Dean this, but
Yeah,
I've
like
watched
which
one of
ones?
his films.
Oh, he heard from over across the hall.
I've
What
watched.
did you think?
Which one was it? I think it was Romance by the Acidic Seaside. I like that one because that seaside in the title. I thought it was very good.
It could have maybe been improved if, like, the characters had burst into song at that moment where they were, like, walking down the pier and they were, like, walking next to each other and, like, they could have been walking in time with the music. Like, was that just me?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. I'm going to be keeping my eye on you because I just really think there's a blooming talent happening, and, you know, maybe you could be a Maggie show.
Well, that's a very nice invitation. Maybe, you know, I'll consider it once we've had we haven't gone on a fishing trip, the both of us. So maybe in the future I'll invite you to one.
Is there singing on fishing trips?
No singing allowed on my boat.
Dancing?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I'm here with that.
Very good. And
with that, Tink invents sea shanties.
Yeah, this is how we get the maritime, the rhyme of the ancient mariner Tink version.
It's gonna be fabulous.
Yeah. So it seems that there is something about the nature of the ignorance that is thick in this building that is trying to actively reject you exploring it properly.
So, where's Dean?
I assume with you in general, but
Okay.
you might be.
I will turn to Dean and be like, is this giving you Inception-y, Doctor Strange-y world turning vibes? It's giving me that. And like, I figure like if we can like fold space like they do in the movies, like we could use like the ignorance here to like fold us up to the penthouse, right? Like that should work, right? That's a movie thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Okay, let's do it.
Mark Gales, please make a strike pose roll for me as you
All right.
change the world.
So I'm using from my movie buffness, What Should Happen Next, and my personality of the new kid, A New Way of Thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So I'm doing a strike a pose.
Yes,
That was
please.
very good.
Come on, Marky.
I believe.
Oh,
full
nice.
success.
Oh, yes.
I incepted it. Inception.
I mean, you get exactly what you want. Tell me how it works, and it just
So-
happens now.
As like I'm just talking about it and I'm moving my hands, I realize like, oh wait, this is like how they do it in the movie, and then I just start forming, like reenacting, because I've watched Doctor Strange 1,000 times, doing the exact sort of teleportation spell, and then I just create a big portal, and it's the office.
Yeah, you
Wow,
you
you could do that this whole time?
You start, you start doing those gestures, and you feel the room shift as you move them, and almost like the copied city in Near Automata, where it's just all made out of cubes that reform into buildings.
Yeah.
It's that,
Like that.
as it all ripples outwards. Sorry, I just bumped my mic. As it all ripples outwards, and then you get like a staircase that leaves out of the space, and you're kind of like, yeah. No, I made the staircase. This worked.
This is totally how it's supposed to be. Cool, let's go.
As you run up the stairs, and we get like a Dragon Quest style as you go to the next floor. And you hit stairs. And you hit stairs. And you hit stairs. And we're definitely just in the main stairwell of this building.
Wait, is like Mario 64 stairs where they're endless to Bowser's
No,
castle? Or
you definitely feel like you're getting higher to the top.
Oh,
but
Okay, good.
It's
the
less
Shinra
Mario
staircase.
64 stairs, but more Shinra staircase stairs. So you're kind of like, oh my god. But as it goes, it starts snowing indoors. And it starts like you feel initially you feel the ignorance creeping in, and then you see like ice start to emerge out from the walls, and this is swiftly turning into a mountain climb and not a stair climb.
And I pray to Coco Peru for divine intervention to give us a queer bubble to protect us in the stairwell from the snow.
Only if you say the chant, "This bothers me.
This bothers me.
This bothers me.
This
bothers me."
I really like that. That's cool. I think we're gonna play pretty fast and loose with. I think this is gonna be a striker pose to make a tag that will be like a protective tag that will stay and help all your rolls going through the encounter. If that makes sense.
Okay. All right, let's see how it goes. It's been a mixed bag for me lately.
Ooh, fail.
I'm so mad.
It's all good. I think you get this bubble.
Okay.
You do get the bubble, but it feels really flimsy. It definitely feels more soap bubble than force field.
Okay.
You
I just take a
gain.
moment to really appreciate
Barrier?
the soundtrack. This is so good.
Thank you. This is from Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Ooh.
Yeah, so a barrier forms around you as you continue to kind of make your way up the staircase. And the stairs start getting slippery. And it's now becoming more and more of an effort. I'm going to turn this down here, though. It's now starting to become more and more of an effort to maintain your footing as you continue up the stairs. If somebody doesn't do something, one of you might slip.
Okay. I would like to make sure that everyone's steady. So, honestly, I think what I'm gonna do is Luce is going to stop me if this is getting too egregious or too comical. But basically, I want to carry everyone.
I like that. I actually
love that so
genuinely
much.
like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I want to carry like two on each like tremendous bicep.
Let's do it in your head.
One can go in the head, but actually no one can go in the head because the hat's there. No one can go because the hat's there.
By the by, I remembered and then forgot to say, but you can unburn that tag. Time has passed.
I was
managed to
fine
kind
with
of-
having like a Jotaro hair, you know.
You've had the time to properly dust off your hat.
Yeah.
Adjust it so it now works as intended once again. But yes, go and make me a be vulnerable roll because you're putting
Be
yourself on the
vulnerable.
line here.
Okay, so I have a tag called a firm stance, and I think what would help me here is if I use my Q factor, Lucky Rod, to just like attach myself to like the corners of the walls as like we could climb up, you know?
Are you using it like a belay rope, like ice climbers?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like maybe the tag personal toolkit. I want to make sure everyone's comfortable, so there's like pillows or like bicep pillows for everyone to sit on.
Aw. I don't care what the outcome of this is. Dean is like blushing. Wow.
Intensely.
This takes
strong person. Damn.
this takes him back, yeah, for sure. But yeah, can I roll?
Yeah, go give me a
+3?
be vulnerable +3.
Oh hell yeah! Here we go. Oh baby!
Oh yeah, you
No
do it
problem.
and it's wonderful. So yeah. You I think we get like a Hanna-Barbera like Fred Flintstone sounding ass like running sound effect. As you just start scampering up the staircase with everybody kind of perched on you in tow.
Great.
Absolutely. And like before they start, Luz obviously just like very nonchalantly goes like, "Let's go."
Dean's just.
Jared's on the other side doing the same thing.
They're so strong. They're so strong. Goodness me.
Good. Oh my sailor.
Love me a thembo that can carry 4 people.
All right.
Yeah.
And
People
Stoonch,
in the
don't forget
cartoon.
Stoonch.
4 people.
Stooge is there too.
A family can be 5 Queerz in the cartoon. And as we get to the top of the stair, you start to hear like the sound of like icebergs cracking as you are stomping your way through this rapidly thickening ice. And as you get to the very top, your final like stomp makes like a rift in the wall, and you see it kind of like crack all the way up to the ceiling, and it dislodges a stalactite of ice in the ceiling, and it plunges down. And all of you we get the 5-person cut in again, as all of you are looking up being like, as it impacts with the barrier.
Oh no.
And both the barrier and the icicle like shatter. So the barrier was actually useful from stopping all of you from being impaled, but unfortunately it only had enough strength to withstand a single impact, and it is now no longer protecting you. However, you do hit the room. You do actually get to the door that is marked spa area.
So there's on this map it says there's another elevator in the spa, which sounds stupid, but let's just go for it.
I mean, you always find weird secrets in a bathhouse.
Is
That's
there a
true.
jacuzzi in the spa?
You don't want to go in that jacuzzi.
But it's so cold.
Yes, we want to have like a mother
We just-
3 rest stop.
Can we just have a little jacuzzi break?
It's not
Just
worth
warm
it,
up
Tink.
again?
It's not
Well,
worth it.
Yeah, as you step in to the spa area, and it is luxurious, and it has everything that you need for a spa moment. It has.
I mean,
all
I
the
grabbed some
oils and
cucumber
tinctures.
slices for sure.
Oh yeah, Cher steals towels and then puts them like in her big sleeves. Just stealing them.
I'm Cher. Add the story tag towels that you now have. They are
love
just
it.
in your inventory now.
Okay.
Tink is gonna go find some hot water somewhere. Like, Tink is looking for heat.
Luz is fishing in the pool.
Do you catch anything?
Interesting.
Nathan?
Interesting. I wonder who everybody else is doing.
Marky
first.
is just looking for the elevator. Like, I don't know what y'all are
Dean-
doing.
Dean grabs some cucumber slices and puts on his eyes, but other than that, just is looking for the exit.
As Luce, you cast your fishing rod.
Oh my god,
into-
things are happening. I did not expect this. Okay.
Really? Genuinely? For true?
Well, I know you, Nathan, so I know I should have.
You cast your fishing rod into the pool, and you get like a quite bleep as it like lands in the water, and it's clear. Like you can see the bottom. There's nothing there, but it tugs. You feel resistance on the rod.
I just yell, "I got a big one!"
And as you yell out loud, hands emerge from the water made of water.
What?
And
Whoa.
grasp, like, I think they burst out in multiple. So some grab onto the fishing rod, some grab onto your legs, and they try to pull you under.
Oh my god. Miserable, blundering, barbecued blister! Help me out, folks.
I will use erasure to erase all the water.
Ooh, that feels I like that as an idea. I think if that goes wrong, that would be really interestingly risky.
Oh no.
But I mean, you know, big risks, big rewards.
Indeed.
Yeah, go and give me a be vulnerable roll. Like everybody in the room hears that splash, and in fact, as Luce exclaims and yells, the hands start pulling with even more ferocity.
I think this is erasure and protect those I love. I don't think it's anything else.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Seven.
At least it's a 7.
Partial
At least
success,
it's a 7.
barely. Yeah, so let's see. Maybe be vulnerable was kind of the wrong role for what we're trying to do here. This is trying to, I mean, you're trying to deal damage to the water by erasing it, so that still tracks. So what status, like tier 2 status, are you giving to the water?
Evaporated?
Yeah. Depleting.
Gonna get very humid in here.
Oh, this
room.
is feeling
Give me a nice
increasingly
steam
like a
room.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure enemy. And
I'm
I'm a fan.
killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The steam is gonna heat up tank. This is
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah, this is what I wanted.
great.
Okay. So you give it evaporating 2. And but you there is a side effect here. And I think what it does is that it really insists on not letting Luce go, and the water specifically rushes like it was moving of its own free will over Luce's head, and Luce is now submerged in water outside of water.
Oh, won't let
And,
Luce lose.
So yeah, Luce, go and take drowning 2 for me, please.
Oh no!
Oh boy. Well, that's no problem.
You did say drowning was a potential thing.
Yeah.
Did.
The content.
No,
Yeah, go
Do I
ahead.
still have, by the way, Nathan, do you still have shocked 2 from when I got tased?
Ooh, that
Probably,
is
right?
That is probably kind of. I think this is all now This will now combine into kind of exhausted 3.
Yeah. Because I'm conducting that. Okay, so exhausted 3.
Yeah, you're not like
Gotcha.
crackling with electricity, but that was exhausting to you, and the
Oh,
fact
yeah.
that this is also being a bit of a stamina drain, you're starting to really feel
Oh, yeah.
it. So
And
you're
now, you know,
exhausted.
I'm like losing focus, losing air.
Mm,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you go.
Okay, I think Cher is gonna just jump headlong into the pool. She's gonna pull a bold action looking for some female trouble. And I think because her friendship meets so much, I'd like to add the tag "we'll meet again" in order to try to get to him and then pull them out.
And this feels like a care roll because you're trying to remove the damage status from Luce. So go and give me a care roll +2.
Get like
Okay, I
a-
hope I roll well this time.
Mhm.
You get like a
What do you do?
sepia flashback to when I gave you that word. There was not even 2 minutes ago.
Oh yes!
Friendship.
Friendship in the form of a little thing.
So anime to have a replay on screen of what happened 5 minutes ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's sorry. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna hit instant replay, and we're gonna stop this music and get. So if we have something emotional.
Oh my god! And it's like what the audience saw was like, oh, Luce gave Cher a worders, but actually like a fucking conversation, like deep conversation happened.
Okay, exactly. So as we're we see Cher like diving into the pool in slow motion to extricate Luce. Echoing over it is like one line from Luce and one line from Cher that like reverberates with high.
I think the first time that Luce worked as a bouncer and saw Cher perform, they didn't say anything until she was done performing. She was still mastering this new routine. You know, took a lot out of her. After like in the changing rooms, like she was just like out of it, and in comes Luce with a bowl of her favorite food that she never even told them, and goes, "Here, eat up."
Aw.
That's so sweet. I think we're gonna get a dramatic cut to her putting the Werthers in her mouth and looking at him and just saying, it's the small things that matter.
Aww. Yay.
As we see kind of like Cher's well-manicured fingernails reaching out towards Luce, and then the screen floods with white, and then we see Luce and Cher back on the side of the pool. This was a 7 to 9, so it's a partial. Luce, because that was a power 2, it reduces the status that you've been affected by 2.
Okay.
So I think you are now sputtering 1.
Sputtering, okay.
Yeah, because you're still on the other side of this. Cher, you are drenched 1.
I know.
That wouldn't bother Luce at all, being somebody who emerged from the sea one day. But it's definitely a problem for Cher. So.
I feel like my hair, my poor hair.
You know what? I think Luce sees what her saving action did to her hair, absolutely ruined it, and he like takes off his skipper's hat and puts it on her so she doesn't have to walk around with a head full of disaster.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've got this.
No,
I'm gonna pull out a towel. Just gonna wrap it around.
Towels.
A towel! You do have that tag!
Damn.
I am more than happy to let you sacrifice the tag towel to reduce your drenched status. That's how this game works. I will let you move.
Luce puts the hat back on, saying like, "Yeah, I know you wouldn't want to wear it anyway. It's not your style."
Oh, okay.
But there's now a bit of a weird energy, I think, now. This is the you all step into the elevator and ascend the rest of the way. We get one of those shots where the elevator moves into frame, like all of you inside it move into frame, and then the camera keeps following you while you have a conversation in the elevator. So yeah, we're on our way to the penthouse suite. We know that Coda de Neige will be there. What's the vibe amongst most of you? What are you saying to each other?
All I can think of is the Evangelion, like, just silent elevator ride, but obviously no.
I mean, that can be. We can have that and hear everybody's thoughts if that's.
It's silent except for the fact that like 2 seconds after entering in and it's moving, Marky starts doing the elevator version of "Girl from Ipanema."
I do not have that on deck. Oh boy. But yes, I do like the idea that as we silently ascend the elevator, we kind of hear the thoughts of everybody in turn as you're about to go and meet Coda de Neige in person. So Marky, this isn't the first time you've met Coda. What are you thinking about?
I think Marky is like running through various superhero fight sequences to like figure out which actions, like, okay, then I should be over here to allow this to happen. And so it's just like this constant montage of multiple fight sequences that he's just analyzing over and over and over again in prep to be like, okay, if he's over here, then we do this maneuver. If he's over here, then we do this maneuver, and then we do this, and then we do this. And so it's just that, and like it's also like just a way to keep him calm because he's just running over things that are very familiar.
So I like that. Cher, What you thinking
I
about?
I think she's dwelling on all of the slights, right? Like they're going after her home away from home, the bar. They're ruining her community. They're making her have to go through this nonsense and get her hair wet. She's angry, and it's getting the better of her.
I like that. I might invoke a weakness tag next. We haven't interacted with those yet. It's also a thing that you can willingly inflict yourselves for a -1. You would gain EXP by doing so. This is a one-shot, so obviously there's no benefit to gaining EXP. But, you know.
Well, not with that attitude.
Fair. Luce, what is Luce thinking about?
Lucy's thinking about the kind of like the fishing trip they'll have to take after the mission, and like how to survive a boat full of and Tink and Cher, you know, because that is like they're both seaworthy. Don't get me wrong, but that's a lot of presents for a single sloop.
Dean.
So Dean's thoughts are like, Mark's been acting kind of weird. Did I do something wrong? What did I do? And then we pan slightly over to Stoonch, and Stoonch is like, did I already eat dinner? I feel hungry, but I feel like, oh no, I had a hot dog.
Absolutely.
I ate that pie. I wanted
That was
to
beautiful.
throw at that lady.
That was beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, Stooch absolutely pulls out the banana cream pie because it's always a banana cream pie for some reason, and just like with one hand just starts casually eating it in the lift. And Tink, what's Tink thinking about?
Tink is giving themselves a little pep talk. They're like, okay, don't look scared. You're not the kind of person who looks scared. You just have to look confident. As long as everyone thinks you're confident and fabulous and badass. But what if this is it and no one ever got to know the real me? No, be fabulous. Be fabulous.
Absolutely. And before long, the camera, like the elevator moves up out of frame again as we reach eventually Code de Neige's apartment.
It's tacky.
It is freezing in here.
Oh no.
You can see the snow clouds out of the window. It seems to be snowing even harder now. And the kind of like, even at this height, you would normally expect to see the twinkling lights of the community that you know so well below. It's a Saturday night, like, you know, the kind of like the neon disco place, which is the best place to be at 3 a.m. You can't even see its neon lights anymore. Yeah, the clouds are so thick. Ice is covering almost every surface, and in fact, sitting in near the dining area is actually an entire throne made of ice. And we see Code de Neige in their early 40s, very, very primly kept hair, a turtleneck, black naturally, and very, very expensive watch, trousers, and shoes sitting there. His fingers resting on the armrests of this throne, and they are purple, almost blue with the cold. You wouldn't be surprised if hypothermia has set into this person. But it seems that they are doing their best to not let on to the fact that they are cold.
Have they seen us? As the lift
I think they
opens?
hear the door bing bong as it opens, and they turn to see the fact that there are people in.
Marky runs out and strikes the heroes entering the scene pose, expecting everybody else will.
Do you all?
Just-
It's
Yes.
a valid
Yeah.
question.
Yes,
Okay.
the yes,
Yes,
and
too
moment,
late.
yes.
Too late. Like we're all like
Yeah.
we missed the first 2 seconds of the queue,
Oh,
and they're like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah, you all pose in your established, rehearsed. There is actually a dance practice room in the back of the loose porthole that you
Oh, yeah.
to use in your spare time.
Gonna get you force going on.
What does Coda sound like?
chilly, distant.
Well, yes. Oh, I see. We have guests. Divergent, obviously.
Well,
I could smell the low class on you, you see.
Ugh.
How dare you come into our home and try to take all the soul out of everything we have built?
Your home. Your home. This is just an excellent business opportunity. The value of your properties is astounding. So many people come here every year to celebrate, and I figured that it would be beneficial if I was able to turn this into a opportunity for my new line of restaurants.
you're
The
not
ones
taking
that you
over.
have, the food is subpar and foreign.
That's what gives it its taste, you bastard.
I'll have
I
you know
wash-
I love that slop.
Can I walk up to him
Sure.
and try and, if he will let me, like physically, like take his hand, like hold his hand?
Well, yeah, I think you can. I think there will be resistance to this. You already know from the times that you've done this before that to remove the ignorance, the core ignorance from somebody, people can be infected with ignorance and you can clear that from them. But when it's handling the source, you need to get in there. You need to enter their inner space to do so. Which is, a kind of like metaphysical psychic connection that those of the Queerz are able to manifest. And it seems that it requires some physical contact.
Oh wow.
So, Tink, you can make your way over, absolutely. But as you go, it feels like the temperature in this room drops every step you take closer to Coda Dinerge. So let's get... I think this is just going to be a resist roll to avoid feeling the freeze burn of the damage you take. Of, just the cold in the space. What tags will you be using to avoid freezing, turning into an ice cube on the way over?
None of them. I'm just an ice cube.
Well, go
I'm
make a
just-
raw roll. Just make 2d6.
I'm just very Tink is just been getting colder and colder this whole time and is just trying to sort of swish through it.
Oof.
You try to get into contact. You know what you need to do. You've done this before, but it has never felt so just unpleasant. There's good in people. There's always good in people. The people that you've managed to extract ignorance from in the past have even usually been grateful when they realize that their worlds have been expanded, but you don't feel a potential warmth from this person. It must be there, but they have buried it so deep.
I think it's like you said, as the steps getting slower and slower, and they're sort of they end up with the hands out, but quite a way away, physically unable to take another step.
You are going to take the tag, but not the status. Faith shaken. Meaning that sometimes you might make, if you make a future roll and your faith would be relevant to it, you'll be rolling it at -1. But yeah, the rest of you see Tink make their way over and slow and then stop.
Oh. Can I draw a fire?
Sure. You can
Yeah.
absolutely strike a pose to create a fire and add some tags or remove existing tags.
Does Tink have a cold tag, or are they
Uh,
just cold?
Their faith has been shaken rather than being physically frozen, so not quite.
Well, I think
the
this
same
is more
thing.
of a metaphor then.
It's a
to,
metaphor.
Yeah.
Love metaphors.
All right, so this is obviously the quick sketch. Again, protect those I love. I'm all about protecting those I love.
Absolutely.
And I don't know that there's anything else.
Okay, make it with +2.
And this was, again, a
This is a strike pose roll.
strike a pose with 2. 11!
Hey! Very, very nice. Very nice. So there's a variety of things that can happen off the other side of strike pose. You can create new tags. You can remove existing ones. You can scale up effects. So you might be able to make a fire big enough to melt all the ice in the room, for example.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely... Do I get 2 or just 1 tag? Totally.
You get a minimum of 2 and can spend them on upgrades 1 per point. So you can like make one and then upgrade it, for example.
So I would like the whole room to feel suddenly like the bar. Like everybody feels at home again instead of in this foreign place where it's very cold. And I want to add feels like home to everybody and then take away faith shaken from Tink.
Yeah.
The music tells you it's all right.
The space against the tag feels like home.
Seeing Dean do that, Marky steps forward and copies it to do the exact same action. So using my reflect you back tag, and I'm your backup to like really change this into our home.
Okay, go and give me another strike pose roll.
No.
It doesn't fall. I think Coda says, and it feels warmer because the effect in the room causes this to feel warmer for them saying it to you. Oh, I recognize you. You're in the middle of your university degree. Came to my talk. Student debts can be a... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I think Cher is gonna pull out her Cupid's bow and aim at him and shoot an arrow of empathy.
Hold on, before we
Okay.
get there, because there's a negative effect to the failed roll.
All right, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So, I recognize you. Your university can be a very expensive venture. What say that you step away from all this, and I can make all of that financial nonsense go away?
Like in mid copying, it just stops. Like
Yeah, it's like no student loans.
yeah, like.
What do you
Alright.
say first?
I don't think Marky says anything because it's just like lost in the idea of taking this deal and like just stops.
Absolutely.
Does not continue forward because it's like this is an actual very tempting get out of jail free card. Like
You take sold out 3.
I want Luce to just say something to Marky.
Shall we go in order of things first? Because I think
Yeah.
Cher wanted to do something first, and I like this, the shot of empathy.
Yeah, so she's gonna pull out and loose an arrow of empathy, but she's going to focus as hard as she can, thinking of her friends in order to steady her arm. So I'd like to add "We'll meet again" and my Cupid's bow as tags.
And you will also get feels like home because it is boosting you. So go roll with +3. to, I think, slay. This shot is
Okay.
unguarded.
Thank you.
Next
Oh, you needed
success.
those.
I
Wow.
did.
So I think what this physically does is that even though you fire the arrow to them, it kind of extends as a line rather than an arrow that moves. And all of you can see that this is your moment. It's a conduit. Even though you weren't able to get physically close, you can all grasp this line towards Coda Denage's heart. And as you do, let's see. How are we feeling in terms of energy? Do we want to take another break before we go into the final sequence, or shall we kind of persevere?
I can keep going.
I'm feeling okay.
Too, yeah.
I'm feeling
All
good.
right, marvelous. So yes, please give me like the line that you say when you dive into people's hearts while I change all this information over.
Do we all say it in
No,
coordination?
you
or
can have individual ones, or if you
Okay.
think there's a cool one that everybody should say, that's fine too. I'm fine with that.
Home is where the heart is.
Ooh, I like that. All of you at the same time say home is where the
Yes.
heart is. That's
I love
cool.
that. I love that.
Marky just mouths it because he's still into the hole.
All right, let's coordinate it. 3,
Okay.
2, 1. Home is where the heart
There it
is.
is.
And you enter into Coda Denage's heart.
Wow, it sucks here.
Wow, this place is awful.
Wow. Yeah.
No surprise.
The
It's worse than I
art style's
thought it would
different,
be.
so you know that it's in the mind. You find yourself on what looks to be a frozen coast. Like the land is, the sand is definitely covered in thick banks of snow. But as you look out into the ocean, it seems that even the roiling waves have crisped and stopped. And standing on the shore, looking out to the sea, is a kid, maybe about 17-ish. They definitely look pretty scrawny, and they kind of look out wistfully. They're shivering. It seems that they are. Even though they are clearly older than being like impoverished schoolboy, for some reason they are still in shorts, like they go to a private school, and the cold is kind of getting to them. And yeah, you can hear in the distance maybe what feels like an orchestra tuning up, and as you look into the sky, it is just panels of stained glass and a dome, like you're on the inside of a snow globe. Behind the glass, you can hear that there's something out there. Something kind of like, actually pretty raucous, but the glass, its thickness and its distance, dulls that noise to a distant room.
Can we approach?
Loose turns to the movie knowers in the crew and goes, does anyone know what the subtext here is?
Feels like End of Eva. I hate to make like multiple Evangelion references. I know y'all haven't watched that, but like,
I haven't, you know this.
But yeah, it's surprisingly quiet as this young figure of Coda stares out into the frozen ocean.
Yeah, we need to call out to him and to remind him that the world isn't as cold as he makes it out to be. Well, guess what? Boy! Laddie!
Like the kid stands to stock still attention. Well, it's like military like, and slowly turns round, and you see nervousness in his eyes. Who are you?
Addy Sailor. I'm the lighthouse you can look to. My name's Luce, and these are my friends, Cher, Tink, Marky, and Dean, and we think that you need a friend.
I mean, in good business, it doesn't pay to make friends. They'll just backstab you later. Oh God, it's cold.
Oh my gosh, you look freezing. And Tink is gonna take off her swishy purple cloak and stomp over. Can I stomp over and physically like engulf him in it?
Yeah, let's get a care roll from.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use swishy cloak. I'm not sure I can justify anything else at this point. No, I'm just gonna use swishy cloak.
Okay, yeah.
Swish it.
Yeah,
Eight.
big success. There you go. Fantastic. So, two things occur here. One, you discover one of this threat's damage tracks. So enemies are usually only damaged in ways that are relevant to them, because there's no health in this game. If you tried to freeze an ice enemy, it wouldn't do anything. So this particular threat can only be damaged in certain ways, and it manifests on one of two different tracks. You currently have Melt 1 as one of the statuses currently inflicted.
What
There
does
is a
that mean?
second damage track. Different things may happen depending on which one you max out first.
I'm a bit confused about the rules. So melt is he already has that?
You have by kind of wrapping him in this cloak.
Yeah. Oh, I
With your in response to that that is aligns with one of the two damage tracks.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So
So you've
you
made
have-
some progress on warming his heart.
Great.
There is another option here, and in fact, when you hug like in swaddle Coda with this, young Coda with this, two things occur. One, he looks very alarmed and kind of afraid, and almost in response to that, like picking up on his fear, instruments start erupting out of the ground. Various and sundry brass instruments, a tuba, a saxophone, and trumpet, all start to emerge from the snow, almost as if it was being melded out of that. The second thing that occurs is they all start harshly like playing. You can the switches on them and stuff are moving, so you can tell they are playing something, but you can't hear anything. What you do feel, however, is like a deafening noise, even though no noise is being made.
Like a
And-
pressure shift.
And the story tag, let's see, looking at my notes, Winds of Static is currently happening. With this kind of like silent noise blustering the space, care actions can no longer be taken.
Mm. I see.
I was going to do a care action, I think. So
Yeah, I mean, so far, like, Marky hasn't moved forward and is still, like, pondering. Do I not get my money? So he's just not doing anything.
Huh.
Yeah. I would like to. I think because I'm talking to young Coda. I think I'm too far away to like have that conversation with Marky. Otherwise, I would.
Can Cher run over to the instruments and try to coordinate them to reduce the chaos and discord and make something more orderly out of it, something more musical?
Okay, that sounds interesting to me. I'm into that. What roles? Let's decide what role this is going to be first.
Maybe
It
like
feels like it's a talk it out because you're trying to convince them of something, even though this isn't a verbal conversation. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's gonna like roll up her sleeves, push up her glasses, and just try to use her best creativity and skills to come out with something more beautiful and less amelodic, right? So I'd like to use Pinsnaz because she's thinking her way through it, and I think an Oh Honey would be good because it's sort of a force of will thing to try to combat this negative energy.
However, you're actually not that great when it comes to organizing a group of people. Historically, you've always kind of left organization up to your friends because you have the weakness tag, a disorganized mess. So I'm going to evoke that in this circumstance. I can only invoke it once and then we can't use it again. But it'll be a -1 on the roll. So as a total, that means you're rolling with +1 to talk it out.
And talk it out? Okay, so talk it out.
Full success.
Didn't need it. Just bring on the penalties. You don't need it.
Let's see. You have. I'll give you the option of either removing the winds of the winds of static tag, or being able to do something with this that might we're not sure because we don't know what the second damage track is. Hit on one of their damage tracks. What you say to them?
I'm gonna remove the wind's status.
So you start getting a noise out of these things feels impossible. Like these things aren't even built to make a melody. But what you have got them doing is making the air gently swirl in a large circle around the space, and it is slow and rhythmic enough where it is not causing any damage. So the winds of static is now cleared.
Good.
So wait, can we still not do a care action? Was that
now the winds of static have been cleared.
Okay,
care
so we
actions
can.
are no longer prohibited.
All right. Well, I think I want to just appeal to his lack of friendship and like genuine love with like Stooch coming up and offering like fun and friendship. So Stooch is doing a little like cartoonish dance, and Dean is helping by like highlighting while Stooch is doing the dance. So I feel like that's Wham, highlighter, My Little Buddy, and Rubber Hose cartoon.
Okay, absolutely. Go and make a care roll with 3.
Alrighty. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Full success with 3. Ooh. Yes. Absolutely. So go and describe what Stooch does for the scene, and we'll talk about how he reacts.
Stooch just tries to get a laugh, right? Like just doing some wacky hijinks that are weird motions of a body that shouldn't happen, but he's a cartoon character, so it's fine. And just putting on a show, making it clear that like, hey, we can be friends.
This does make Coda kind of gives a very tired smile and almost a chuckle, and however it doesn't hit as hard as you would expect. Something about this is not making it hit as hard as you expect, and the like panels in the sky start displaying various instances from Coda's like youth, where they basically, how to put it, it shows a mixture of things. It shows times where like he trusted people and they took advantage of him to get what they wanted, and then in particular it shows like a scattering of them, like a mosaic of multiple times he's been betrayed by other people. But then all of them simultaneously in like one big picture show an instance of where he decided to do it to somebody else, and it worked super well, and there was no poor repercussions for him, and dang, that felt good. So instead of pushing it to melt 3, it feels like there's a bit of a barrier, and then you're like, well, even if he smiles again, there's still the matter of actually the things that he's done and recognizing the ignorance at hand. doesn't quite have the full effect that you wanted, but it does push up melt. But yeah, now the sky is starting to show various scenes of all the times where being cruel, calculating, and businesslike has actually proven incredibly beneficial to Coda across the years.
Tink is gonna turn back from where I feel like some of us are up close and look at Marky. Is Marky still just sort of staring?
Just hanging back, like seeing all the times that, like, now us being confronted, like all of these sort of decisions didn't backfire, and like this offer of money, it's like,
I think Tink's just gonna turn around and say, Marky, what are you doing? Get your ass over here!
but what are we even doing? Like, it works though. Look.
We're doing what we usually do, which is like saving the day and stuff. Right?
From what? Money?
Yeah?
I think this conversation is loud enough for the gang to hear about kind of like this conflict in position.
I was like shouted over them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Luce definitely like hears Marquis say there's like doubt, even though like he's always so enthusiastic, and like he's got his heart in the right place, and like right now just like, yeah, this material concern is taking like the like is basically like towing him along, and Luce goes, Marquis, what you want is to be saved over the corpses of others. You want to be alone in your own fleet. But you don't want to be that. You don't want to be the survivor of that. Because on the other side, what you end up being is a single ghost ship lost in a storm at sea. You're not a ghost ship, Marquis. You're part of a family. You're part of a fleet. You're part of us. And no matter how much money you get offered, we'll find a way. We can even set fire to some dead offices, you know? But that's neither here nor there.
Having overheard this kind of like thing being kind of like you're part of a family and you don't want to be a ghost ship, Coda's like smile from Stoonch kind of like pales again, being kind of like, well, that's a luxury not everybody can have, is it? And you discover Coda's other damage track.
What is it?
Shatter 1.
Shatter 1.
So it seems that there are two particular ways of handling this particular circumstance. Are you being cruel or are you being kind? Either way, you need to make them recognize what's going on with their ignorance.
I'm gonna whisper to Luce, who I think is nearby, and just be like, I don't know what half of that meant, but the delivery was awesome.
Looking at everybody, Marky goes, it's easy for you all to say. You are established. And he looks right at Dean. You are successful. You bought a bar. I have nothing. And it's mounting and becoming. I can't pass this up. Can I?
Mark, you know this isn't. First of all, that was just word of mouth. Is money really more important than what all of us have built together? I understand that you're not in the same place that any of us are, but that's just a factor of age. It's time. we're going to be here to support you no matter what happens.
Mhm.
But I still understand if you want to take the easy way out. I know it's a valid choice, and I'll support whatever you want to.
Yeah, we'll still be your friends and your family.
I actually think it's not a valid choice to just accept, yes, I'll betray everyone I've worked with, helped with, bonded with. I think you're turning your back on people who can care for you and accept you for what? Just to be stranded, marooned even.
So,
Marky. Oh god.
as everybody's saying that, Marky gets a small smile and turns directly at Coda and takes all of that and shoots it back at Coda.
Absolutely. Go and give me a slay roll, I think.
So
Yeah.
reflect you back, movie justice, and recognizing ignorance are the tags I'm using.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
gosh.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
Now,
Incredible.
I need to ask what kind of emotion you're putting behind that.
So
Um,
it is eye-opening, like you've seen all these things working. Like this is the alternative. This is the route you could have taken. It's like a
So-
blunt force, like wake up call.
Sorry to interrupt very briefly, but we have just been raided by 88 people,
Oh, whoa!
which, hello, welcome.
Hello, wow.
Hi there.
Welcome.
I'm
me
gonna
adjust my
do.
hair
I'm
real
gonna do
quick.
the pitch of what
Hey.
we're playing and then get back into it. Sorry to interrupt in a really emotional moment, but we gotta do business at the same time. Hi, hello. I'm the androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. This is a channel where we play tabletop RPGs and various other things. We are currently playing Queerz, which is a tabletop RPG made by Son of Oak, who also made City of Mist, and mechanically it works very, very similar. Think if all of the Power Rangers were actually textually gay rather than metaphorically gay, and they go and defeat ignorance in other people with compassion, care, and sometimes a laser gun. We are in the final act of this story, where we have stormed up a literal ivory tower to go and fight a billionaire who is trying to silence the local queer community because he feels they are too noisy and obnoxious. And we are about to. We had a very emotional heart-to-heart where we realized that actually trying to pursue just money and nothing else is not going to be a way to make you happy, and it doesn't give you a family. And after having that emotional heart-to-heart with our Mark Gales, the youngest member... Actually, would you mind briefly kind of introducing who we all are as characters once more? Not to take away from the tempo of things, but if you could.
I'm playing Marky Gales. I am the youngest and newest member of the group, still trying to figure out my place and where I belong with the team.
Go for it, Shan.
Hi, I'm playing Cher Noble, local drag queen superstar who headlines the bar and keeps everybody together and a little annoyed.
Luce.
I'm playing Luce Mallard, a bisexual Captain Haddock who showed up, who walked out of the sea a couple of decades ago and has just been hanging around ever since.
And Dean.
Dean owns the bar and is also a Hollywood director. That's how he got the funds to own the bar, although he does not operate the bar for a profit. And yeah, that's Dean.
And finally, Tink.
And I am Tink, and they are a little whirlwind of purple and aggressive love and musical theatre obsession.
Absolutely. Also, thank you for the follow of Obscured Persona, D-Tune, Momo Christo, and Midnight Siren Song. Oh, and Frymaster127. Thank you very much for your kindness and joining all of us on the story that we're telling. I've also posted in the chat, this game is currently in Kickstarter. You can click that link that I posted in the doobly-doo up there, and you can find out more information about Queerz and get the demo for yourself. But for now, we are about to do a big emotional attack against the final boss of the circumstance. So yes, Mark, go and give me a, let's see, this is a slay roll +3. If you 11. Nice, nice.
Damn, that was when it was
Boom.
needed. The dice come through.
Oh, not to put you on the spot, but please give us a one-liner.
So as it's all reflecting back, and he's like standing firm, he looks and says, "Money can't buy family."
Absolutely.
We would now, like, I feel like I want, like, this is very finale. I wanna support this, but sort of by like I wanna like Marky is taking all the love that we were giving Marky and like reflecting it back. So I kind of want to like have a physical manifestation of us like putting that into Marky.
Oh
you
yes,
know?
it absolutely. As you kind of like have this conversation, we can actually even like rewind this so we have the little bit of additional drama. And in fact, let's go put some music behind it. As all of you kind of like give your additional kind of like positivity and cheering up Mark, and you all glow in your respective colors, and that flies towards Mark in one energy, and almost like summoning a magical like reflecting mirror or barrier. It like plunges into this mirror. The mirror glows with rainbow energy, and it's sent directly back at this young form of Coda Denage, who is blasted into the air with the physical force of all of this. I think what this does is that it puts both Melf and Shatter at 3, because this was a tier 3 status, and getting them to recognize the fact that excuse me. What? Apologies. To recognize that actually there is some weight to this, and the shots of the various things that Coda has done in these glass panels in the sky start flickering faster and then shut off. And we see, I think, we start to see the specific things that we remember Coda having done in the past to the community. Having destroyed the local community theatre to build this set of expensive apartments. Having claimed to have donated some amount of money to mermaids and other LGBTQ charities, but actually they've donated far, far more to conservative efforts. How they have undercut all the various independently owned shops and bodegas, that's the word, I know American, closed all the various, like, muscled out all the various bodegas in the community and set up their own alarmingly expensive supermarket. This is more than just a pursuit of friends. He's dealt irreparable damage to your community. And, well, what's to become of that on the other side of things? And as he's knocked into the air, he then, like, stops. He floats there. And you all feel rumbling underneath your feet as gigantic pillars of ice push you up into the air. 6, 7, 8, 9 feet into the air. You're up very high. The winds up here are really strong, and the orchestral like brass instruments that were whipping the wind around on the floor come again to Coda's aid as he doubles down on himself. As he realizes, actually, there's a lot of damage that he's done, and he does not want to face that.
Right. Well, I think Cher wants to jump in and have at the instruments again. And she doesn't just want to calm it down and reduce the discord. She wants to make music and make him force him to feel empathy for the things he has done. And on top of the pince nez and the oh honey to try to make it happen, I think he wants to throw in a red hot lipstick to make sure that that empathy hits home.
Okay. Yeah. We're trying to make them feel by force. We are getting a. I think this is a be vulnerable. We're in a pretty dangerous, precarious position up here. And if these things counterattack with blasts of air, you might be knocked a long way down.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Finally!
Yes!
How's that even?
Making up for those fives.
Okay, cool. You don't get any side effects. So, you force Coda Dineige with, I think, what music is played out of these?
This one's for Tink. I think it's gonna be Move On from Sunday in the Park with George. Something deeply emotional and deeply introspective.
Oh, yes.
Introspective, sure. Because this was a force, because these are both at status level 3, another tier 3 status doesn't push it to 4 immediately. You'll need something extra to push it over the edge. Shatter is now at 3-star. Another force will make Shatter win out.
I have an idea. I want to use my Q-Force Lucky Rod to pull the memory of the person he fucked over and use the increased empathy that he is now feeling because of Cher's musical conduction and have him face the start of where his malice began.
Absolutely. Let's change the game. Sorry, no, that's called change the game in City of Mist. Let's get a strike the pose roll from you.
Strike a pose, yeah. I got my lucky rod, my fishing rod. I think as if it's like a Gundam preparing for launch. You see the muscles locking in place, and with one just very dainty swing, throws out the rainbow line hooked straight into Coda's heart. And I want to invoke a number of tags here.
Okay.
Which is Q Factor, Lucky Rod, Sharpshooter Eyes, and accidentally luring.
Okay. Go and give me this striker pose +3, please.
Here we go. Submit the modifier. Oh my god!
What's happening?
Yes.
Turning around in the end, finally.
Okay, so let's. I'm gonna give you some control over how this goes, Luce, because I think this is so we're gonna work together to kind of build what moment was the tipping point for this, because I think this is something we should all build together to kind of see what this was in the past. So we have manifested we've manifested the story tag, a person from Coda's, a person from the past. There we go. And make sure that appears on screen. It does. Fantastic. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pick on Dean. When in Coda's past is this person?
I mean, it's got to be early, right? Because this is the origin.
But how young was Coda, maybe?
Coda was the worst age, 14.
Let's get something a little. Let's bring back this bit for a bit because there's still some tenseness here. As this, I like this kind of music bed as we start to slowly see the form of this person make shape out of snow as it's being pulled out of Coda and conjured. So it was when Coda was 14. Nice. Tink, what was the personal relationship between this person and Coda? Were they school friends? Was it a parent-teacher? Was it like a teacher-student? What kind of relation?
I think it was someone in the year below at school who Coda was supposed to be like looking after or assigned to, you know, maybe like they were new and it was like, oh, show them around or something like that.
Yeah, no, I like that. They were looking after an underclassman.
You know, American.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
and Mark, what was the collaborative element? What was the offer that this younger person was making before the betrayal?
So I think it was a there was a new sort of game that was popular at the school that was like sweeping through the school, but neither of them had enough money to like buy the starter set. So he was offering like, I'll give you what I have, you take it, and then we can buy a set, and then we can like pass it off. Like you have it on one day and I have it on the other, and we can join a part of this. We'll just share it. And so he gives over the money to like go buy it because you're older.
And it's
then
a lot.
we can.
Board games are expensive.
Yes.
And then he moves to another town.
Well, share. What was the twist? What was the betrayal?
I think he took that money, and I think he bought the game, but then he sold it for profit, and just told the younger kid to screw off. He sold it on eBay.
Oh. Now, Luce, you get to decide whether this moment is something that Coda would... So how does Coda feel here? Is this a thing that they would rather apologize for? Or is this a thing that they are so overwhelmed by they don't consider apologizing?
I want, because the point you made about like there's not just, you know, childhood trauma here, there's actual like intentional harm done, like based from like out of like greed, but also just like a pathological kind of coldness towards like the idea of family and stuff. So an apology would be like in the fiction of this meaningless, because at this point in his life that person that he screwed over is out of the picture and he's a millionaire right now. An apology means nothing from a millionaire. Sorry, folks. So I wanted, I kind of want it to hurt. I kind of want him to be like, oh, that smarts.
Absolutely. And with that, we set Shatter to 4, maxing out that track.
Breaking the ice.
The form of this person from the past comes to bear, and they stare at Coda and say, every time you have managed to step over the bodies of others to get the thing that you... I was always a shard just outside of your... And you had every opportunity to, if not repair the bond between yourself and me, turn things around and repair the bond between the person that you newly hurt. And instead, you pulled me further and further back. But a single shard can do a surprising amount. And this figure rockets up towards the dome and pierces through the dome like a bullet. And then shards of glass slowly and then with increasing ferocity and speed start to rain down across this inner space. Coda can only look up in shock. He looks at all of you wide-eyed and then looks up in shock as there is a shard of glass rocketing down towards him, and then you leave the dream space. Back in Coda Dinej's apartment, the ice is all gone, and in fact, the sky outside is now clear. Coda, who was previously sitting on a chair, is now kind of like huddled on the floor. What do you do?
Oh, did we break him?
I'm gonna repeat the same action I did in the dream and take my cloak off and wrap it around him.
This just happens. You don't need to make a roll for it or anything. And being a piece of Queerz like technology, it is part of your manifestation of your kind of like empathy and powers. He goes from unresponsive to responsive, and he turns to you very slowly and goes, "Terrible mistake."
I think Cher's gonna walk up and sort of kneel down to be on his level and just look him in the eye and say, "You don't need to put people down to pull yourself up. There are better ways to do this. Learn and move on."
He blinks.
She winks at Tink.
He blinks a couple times. "I'm tired. Going to be going to bed now." And shakily gets up to his feet and shuffles his way into his bedroom and closes the door.
Just before he goes, can I say, hey, we have like a really nice pub, club, bar, show, multi-purpose space. You're welcome anytime.
Actually, can I shout something at Codas too? I want to say, by the way, you promised this young man here to pay off his student loans. I think it's only fair that you keep yourself to that promise, huh?
He does
True.
stop at that and turns back and says, "And I think that'll make this hurt go away." And continues to go into the bedroom, closes the door, and just leaves you just in the apartment.
Break him, yeah.
So like win-win. That was great, huh? Another day saved.
Let's go check on the neighborhood.
Yeah, I think Cher's gonna pause and just look around the like mangled apartment and just go, "This is awkward."
And
Yeah,
with
where's
that,
the house?
and with that, we fast forward to. I can't hit the fast forward because I'm on the layer. Can somebody ping the fast forward, please?
Oh, yeah.
Like press and hold it. There we go. Thank you.
That is interactive? What? It's been interactive this whole time?
Oh no, I keep hitting it. We're in the year 3066. No, we're all skeletons.
We moved to it's about maybe a month after the events at the hand. We're kind of like I have a handful of questions here, and we're just going to kind of like answer them as a table. So I would like to know, now we're about a month later, what became of Prestige Tower after the event?
I think the tower is still there. Like, you can't undo that. But I think in the fact, like, the front part got shattered, there was a whole big move to convert the lower floor into artist space and retail space. And so it's the first floor is not that sort of weird, cold lobby, but it is now storefronts and new spaces for the community to use.
The co-op who have set up a new supermarket at affordable prices there have kind of extolled how spacious this ground floor is, considering. How has the community changed after this period of silencing?
I think Electropop has made its full comeback.
I think all the people from the tower, are like, you know, joining the already existing community.
You know what? The receptionist is leading, is like participating in the music festival of this month.
She's got a band. She's in the band.
She's got a band now
bands.
going, yeah.
Ooh,
Yes.
we'll
And I
hold
think
on.
this month's theme is sea shanties.
Okay.
Oh.
We're gonna hold on to that because I think that's where our final scene of the session is gonna be. I like that a lot. I like that. How have Coda's businesses changed?
I think he made good on his promise to pay for Mark's college. I think that's like the first in a long run of scholarships he's offering, and I think that he's trying to make amends in a meaningful, impactful way to like those that he hurt in the past.
Absolutely. All right. We have our final scene of this session. A little over time, but not by much. We are, I think, at one of these Battle of the Band shows. It is the post performance, so we've already crowned our winner, and I think we are at the circumstance where the winner is being crowned. Cher, you are the master of ceremonies, as you will want to do at events like these.
Did the
You
receptionist
read my
win?
mind.
Is the
I mean,
receptionist the winner?
we can let the receptionist be the winner,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Come on, she needs this.
So yeah, we're just gonna go around between each of us and kind of talk about what our like last scene of this little bit is. So do you want to go first, Cher, since you're emceeing?
Sure, I think she thanks everyone for coming. She, of course, is happy to hand over the crown to the receptionist's band, right? And then she's just gonna walk backstage as everyone is clapping and sit down and take a deep breath. And just look at Tink in the eye and have a silent acknowledgement of a job well done.
The camera kind of like baton passes to Tink being framed of shot. Let's go from there then. Tink, what do you do?
Tink is. I feel like Tink is has brought Luce a drink, a sea-themed drink that Luce likes. Luce, what drinks do you like? No, in fact, Tink didn't ask. Tink went to the bar and found something with like a boat on the bottle and was like, that
Nice.
one.
Kraken rum.
Cracking around.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And is very proudly like bringing Luce his drink, their drink, sorry, and I think just we'll end on saying like, so about this fishing trip.
Does the camera cut to Luce?
Absolutely, the camera baton passes to Luce.
Yeah. Luce thanks Tink for the drink, but then shushes them, and you see the camera pan over that Luce is now watching a movie, watching one of Dean's films, the other one.
The other one. Has he only got two?
No, I think he's got way more. But Luce, this is the second movie they've ever watched.
Okay.
So this is the second movie, and they're like stoically nodding along to what I think is like a horror movie, because at the beginning they want to understand what horror movies are like now.
Does that pass the baton to Dean?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Where is Dean? Is Dean kind of like, oh, do you like it in the scene, or are they elsewhere?
No, Dean is a couple paces back, crying like a baby, watching Luce enjoy his films finally.
Oh.
And then just like turns around to hug Mark, just like, I can't believe this is happening.
And yeah, Mark, close the scene and this story.
So Mark has been passing out sailor hats with the bar's names on it to the crowd, chanting song. And when he's grabbed by Dean, Dean can see that he's texting Luce like the order to watch Dean's films in. Like, okay, you're on number 2. Now this is 3rd. This should come next. This should like doing the whole thing. And then looks at Dean's like, we got this.
Amazing. And yeah, the camera pulls out from this part of the village as like an encore act comes on. The audience who have like piled into probably a very small town square area actually for this are just going absolutely nuts as
Can I suggest that it's Stoonch? The
Oh.
act.
Yeah. No, I like that. Like Stoonch is on drums as we get like an encore performance from the receptionist as the rest of the band is as we kind of pull out. And your local town has never looked brighter. And that has been Queerz Hold That Pose For Me. Thank you very much, everybody.
This was so fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh God. And in trying to be a GM and everything and kind of remembering all the bits and pieces, I had a whole thing where I was gonna flip up my collar and activate like the UV, the shit and everything. And I just forgot. I just entirely forgot. All of this beat went to waste. Like God. But it's fine. It's fine.
You've got the Twitter thing where people can go follow you.
The Twitter post is there. They can go see that. I'm also going to remove the cape because it's very warm. Right, okay. Amazing. We're going to go and put on just a different beat for our kind of like closing as the end of it. Yes, this was just a mere one-shot obscured persona. So you've caught the kind of like latter third of the story. But a thing that I like to do at the end of all the sessions that I run is kind of do comments and kudos, which is the ability for each of you. We're going to go around the table and each of you is going to shout out a moment that another player did that you thought was fucking awesome. So, who wants to kind of deliver the praise? Who do you think had a cool moment?
The pulling the person out of the past loose moment was A+.
Thank you.
I thought the bait and switch of Mark turning heel, but then that actually being that we all got to him and he put the love
up.
forward.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I was going to mention that too. That was so good. But honestly, just I think the moment when like Tink with the key, I can't get enough of the Electropod moment. I thought that was settled the character for me. I really enjoyed that. Just like, hey, let's get that concert going. Like, fuck the neighborhood, fuck the noise complaints. You know, let's get this party started. So I really enjoyed that.
I liked all of Cher's, like,
Absolutely.
not even like the one-liners, but just like the really nice, just the really like gorgeous one-liners, if that's still a one-liner. Just like beautiful quotes.
I just want to like shout out Juicy's general ability to be like, bam, immediately come up with an incredible pun that is super funny.
Thank
And
you.
also, yeah, going into the role of like anything like, oh, you're an MC now, oh, you're a librarian now, like we got to infiltrate this building now, like just so good at just improv, but like really like connective tissue, honestly.
Thank you. And like, not having played with any of you before, you were all so easy to play with. It was so fun to bounce things off of you. This was such a blast. Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, I only picked the best of them. Only the best of them can appear on this channel. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have to
Nathan,
do
that whole-
casting for these. Like, there's usually a decent number of people that be like, "Oh, can I do the thing?" And I'm like, "If they're amazing, yes, we need to find space for you."
Nathan, I'm gonna take a lot of inspiration from your GMing, even for other systems.
Oh,
Like
thank
I think
you.
the pacing in particular, and like the jumping forward, and the like getting straight to the heart of things, which like maybe that's somewhat a sort of function of this particular TTRPG. But I think a lot of things could benefit from that kind of.
It's
pushing
definitely a
things.
thing learned over doing like actual play over the last couple of years, because you know. We have to tell an entire story in about 3 and a bit hours. So time for the kind of like vacillating. And like, it's fine when you're at home, you can go and talk for 2 hours about your heist plan without actually doing the heist plan. But that doesn't work for on air. We need to.
It's very different when you're making something for public consumption.
I run a lot of one shots as well for like newbies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I want to play," and I'm like, "It will take 3 hours," and they're like, "Ah." So like again, like you have to be able to show them within 3 hours that it's worth it, that it's a whole story.
Show you the world.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So I feel like that's a really good like way of doing it, and I love all the TV and the film inspiration as well.
Yeah, I always kind of run my shows as if they are TV shows, because I
really
feel
nice.
thinking about that kind of cinematography really helps for
Montage it,
envisioning
jump
everything.
cut it, yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, Obscured Persona. I love the energy of this group and the game, super upbeat and catchy. Oh, thank you. To part the curtain a little bit, we were talking about this a little bit before air. This, as a game system, is designed to kind of encourage positivity and teamwork. And then I wrote the scenario for this and basically wrote a horror movie. So
Nice. Which
the
was
fact
great.
that we
I really
managed
liked
to,
it. The imagery of snow being like this infectious thing that's everywhere. That's really scary. I like it.
I liked some of the later metaphors as well, because I feel like there are the metaphors in the game of like, oh, there's ignorance and there's rainbow empathy, but all the stuff with the cold really embodied the story at that point really well.
And too, like the horror feel really focused the stakes and really made it easy to feel them, right?
Yeah.
Because it was just easy to latch on and then feel those stakes and then move into the story quickly. So thank you.
Yeah, no, you took it all on really, really well. It's funny. So I've played a lot of tabletop sessions off air with Ruben in the past. He ran a Blades in the Dark campaign that ran for about a year. And before then, I'd never really like involved myself in horror tabletop at all. And then dipped my toe in that campaign. And then it turned out that I'm really fucking good at it. So
Hell yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's what like got you into this, because you're natural.
yeah, no, all my content has gotten like progressively spooky.
But that's
Love that.
because that's like how I run my games too. Is like you got the group brings the comedy and the relief, and as a GM you bring like the horror and the tension, and it's not so much that you have to scare the group, but you have to constantly, like Juicy said, like remind them of the tension and the stakes, and you can really catch them off guard with like what's happening, and they have to bounce back because suddenly, oh my god, we're all nervous because the spooky thing is happening.
It's a great way of thinking about it. I like that. I remember that.
2 things real quick. One, Obscured Persona says, I want to adapt this into my games, this level of everything GM and great players. Hey, if you want to GM like me, I wrote a zine about GMing that you might want to go and check out. It's called The Queerz Cyberpunk's Guide to Tabletop RPGs.
Hold on, I have it
And
here
it's-
somewhere.
It like has games in it, like
Yeah.
extra games.
It has
Oh, wow.
additional games in it that I wrote, and it's available for $5.
Ooh.
Yeah, go download it today. But enough about my systems, because this is also, I'm doing this to promote the current Kickstarter of Queerz. Just real brief, how did we feel about the system of, bearing in mind that it's currently in like beta, it's not finished as a system yet, but how did we feel about this particular method of dice rolling?
It's that I had a lot of fun with like the Arcana Core campaign, that I got used to the City of Mist. I feel this is very counterintuitive for anyone who makes the first toe dip into the water coming from like standard TTRPGs like Shadowrun or Dungeons and Dragons, but that's not an obstacle per se. But I do think that the rolling needs to fit what people want, which is like clearly we want to interact with the environment with objects more, and a lot of the way that the rollings and the rules are written don't really feel like you were having trouble matching role to action a lot of the times, and that's because like we want to interact with objects, and a lot of this is meant to like clearly focused on like bewilder and like show pizzazz towards people. I think that's kind of like a little bit of a thing.
I mean, I think the City Mist system does a good thing of free-forming Power by the Apocalypse in a good way. But again, like I think this is a standard problem with almost all RPGs, is that the teamwork aspect is always lacking. Like there's rarely a chance where it's like, oh, I want to jump in and help with that. You usually have to like announce it first, or like in this one, strike a pose to set it up, and it always sort of feels. It's a problem I have with all TTRPGs. Really, is it feels hard.
I am a big
to do teamwork.
I am a big proponent of having a dedicated teamwork mechanic in most of my games. Because that's one of the experiences I enjoy the most.
You write great teamwork stuff too. You should get in contact with these folks.
I mean. So because this game is in beta, and I think one of the weakest things, no shade to City of Mist, it is genuinely one of my favorite systems. But I like gutted its teamwork system out and put in my own for Arcana Core. Because it just fit what I wanted to do more. And we're in an excellent position here for them to be able to write a dedicated teamwork mechanic for this game, especially since across any Super Sentai thing ever, there is a moment where they come together as a Zord, or they put all their weapons together to make a big-ass gun, and there should probably be a mechanic for that in this game. And they have time to, so please, Evan Mosh, please put in a teamwork mechanic for this game, for sure.
One thing I'll say
I have ideas.
I haven't played a lot of games like this in the past, and using tags to build the character and then play the character made it really easy to latch on to who that character was and like really just jump into being that person. I liked that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the tags, like even our setup, we had a session 0 before we went live, and I felt like all of us not only knew who we were, but who everyone else was, and the relationships, how that went. And that's a factor of Nathan being incredible, but also of the tags and the character sheets.
No, for sure. I started out playing Shadowrun Anarchy, which is Shadowrun, but actually fun and easy to play.
Yeah, it is.
And the character sheets comes with big sections to write your character's ideals and like stuff that they would say catchphrase wise. And a lot of traditionalists looked at that and be like, why is that there? That's silly. But it's really easy to look at that and kind of know what your character would do in a difficult situation. And I really like how this goes one step further and just makes those directives and goals your mechanics. And it's just like blends all that really nice and easy. I dig that. Is there any more about the system before we close things out today? Perfect. Well, you sitting in the chat can go to the Kickstarter and go back it right now. If you do so, you will be supporting one of the people in this call right now. Yes. Greg Leatherman, who is immediately below me, is one of the guest writers for the game.
Like this. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So support it, and you can support him. I'm going to move back over to take us from off screen, but we have everybody's Twitter handles. There we go. I know words. Everybody's Twitter handles are on screen right now. You can go follow Ruben at Urban Friend Den. There are 2 Ds there. Watch out for that. You
Double
can
D.
follow Logan Jenkins at Logan Jenkins. You can follow Greg Leatherman at White Wing. You can follow Juicy Garland at Juicy Garland. And you can follow Shamini Bundell at S Bundell. You can follow me, your androgynous android game show host from the future, caster, at Phantom Arts Entertainment. And with that, I'm going to thank all of you for your time, and we're also going to see if there is a sexy, delightful person out there that we can go raid. Y'all are hungry for some tabletop, right? Valdrianth is a channel that I've done tabletop stuff for in the past. It was part of their Lancer campaign, and I think they're doing an Urban Shadows thing right now, and I think they would absolutely adore everybody's support. So I'm gonna go and make sure that you can go see him right the fuck now. Starting the raid. That's counting down. I, once again, have been your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan Blades. This has been the Neon Cast and Switch channel, and we will see you all in the future. Everybody say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh.